أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A new week and a new tradition from the Prophet of Islam and his noble family. May God's peace and blessings be upon all of them. That can hopefully take us forward for the next 7 days and give us a boost of spiritual energy, of how to better our lives, of how to become better worshippers of God and servants of the Prophet and his noble household, the Ahlul Bayt. May God's peace and blessings be upon all of them. And today's tradition is not about something that we should be doing, but rather what we should be keeping away from. We're looking at a tradition today that talks about the evils of one of the most evil things we can say that is legal in much of the world today. You know, there are many things which are bad for us, which are harmful for the human mind, for the human body, and they're illegal. Governments, will make certain things prohibited, illegal, for a certain time, for a certain reason. But other things which are harmful, which have detrimental effect to all of society, not just the one who consumes it, but governments, because they see taxation is a great way to earn revenue on this product, because they feel that you can't control it, so why not legislate it, that they make certain things legal. And in our discussion today, we want to look at alcohol and how the Prophet of Islam tackles this topic. Obviously, Islam has a lot to say on intoxicants of any sort, whether they be alcohol, whether they be drugs, and whatever the case may be, in whatever form, whether they be smoked or injected, or in whatever other fashion. But let us look at the tradition first of all from the Prophet to see what he has to say on this evils of alcohol, intoxication, and then we'll continue our brief insight into this thought of the week. The Prophet tells us the following: all evil in its entirety has been gathered in one house, and drinking alcohol is the key to that house. The Prophet could not make it any more clearer than this, that all of evil, all the sins, all of the acts of iniquity that could ever be thought of in the world, if you were to gather all of those sins in one room, in one house, the key to those sins, the key to that house of sin, the house of iniquity, the house of just pure filth would be alcohol. Now obviously there are many other forms of intoxicants, as we mentioned previously, that many governments around the world have already made legal for their society to use, and many other countries are following in this bandwagon of making many forms of drugs permissible. But here the Prophet is talking about alcohol in specific, and that every evil, every sin that we can ever imagine, were it to be gathered in a home, in a room, the key to those sins is the usage of alcohol. And for those of us who read the news, who see what happens on a day-to-day basis, this is so evident, it's as clear as the sun. There is nobody who could deny the fact that there are so many evils through alcohol. Find the person themselves, were they to be locked in a room, let's say, and not being allowed out until they became sober, were they to drink alcohol on their own, maybe they will only affect their own personal health, their own personal life, and many of the health effects that alcohol has. But we know that that is not always what happens, because people go to the bars, they go to nightclubs, they get inebriated, they get drunk beyond understanding of their own left foot from their right foot. And they step into a car, and as we've seen many times in the news, innocent women, children are killed, innocent human beings are killed because of a drunk driver crossing the path, because of a drunk driver speeding through a red light, because of a drunk driver hitting a group of pedestrians. So sins are abound through alcohol. Many times we'll read on the news of a woman who was raped because a man was drunk and he didn't take no for an answer. Alcohol, again, the contributing factor to that particular event transpiring. Many other sins are brought about through alcohol, not only killing through drunk drivers, not only rapes and sexual attacks through men or even women, let's say, who drink, but many other sins are there. People who would steal, who would rob to get their next fix, to get their next bottle of whatever. All of these sins, as the Prophet says, were you to gather them all into a room, take all of the sins of evilness, this filth, and you were to, the key to that room would be the usage of alcohol, because it will open the door to it would open the door to many other sins. It would open the door to many acts of just despicability that are committed by people on a day-to-day basis because of alcohol. And so as we begin this next week, let us remember the words of the Prophet in this particular tradition of the despicability of alcohol, of the fact that it can lead, and it does lead, to many other evils within society. And that as believers that we have been prohibited from even coming near alcohol, let alone drinking it, but even to be on a table where alcohol is being drunk is prohibited. To sell alcohol is forbidden. To transport alcohol is not allowed in Islam. To advertise or be a graphic designer, let's say, who has to design a billboard for a beer company, this is forbidden for the Muslim. And so in summary, anything to do with this alcohol is prohibited. And as believers, let us ensure that this week we keep this point in mind, and that we reflect on the evils of alcohol, and we inform our family and our friends and our community of this sin and the outcome which it has. And we do our best to keep away from all of these acts which are prohibited within the religion of Islam and the teachings of Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.